Hey, I hope I'm doing the veteran ranting from his vehicle with his sunglasses on thing appropriately here, but something that I felt was worth discussing. I don't know if many people remember from back in the 2004 campaign when John Kerry was the nominee for the Democratic ticket, and uh, John Kerry was a combat veteran who served tour in Vietnam. He was attached to river flotilla, that saw heavy action on the Mekong Delta. And he had a couple Purple Hearts. He was injured in combat, and did real shit in Vietnam. Came back from the Vietnam War and was part of the anti-war movement. As I feel that he earned the right to do that, having been somebody that went over there. During that campaign, a political action committee, organization was founded on the other side that, was called Swift Boat Veterans for Truth. And this was made up of people that were not necessarily attached to John Kerry's, command, or maybe not even on the same boat as him. Maybe there were people that were, I don't really know. But basically, nothing was ever directly, said. Accusations were made. It was just a bunch of implications that, John Kerry either fragged himself or, wasn't the, decorated combat veteran that, his resume would suggest. And it was super disgusting and kind of gross to do that to somebody that was a combat veteran, or somebody that was a veteran in general. And, it was just highly inappropriate and very, very dirty politics. Not good for this country. And then flash forward here to the next time where we have we have two veterans actually on both parties' tickets. Both of our vice presidential candidates are veterans. One of them happens to be a giant chode. If you know me, then you know which one of those guys I probably think it is. But I'm not going to get into that. And that's kind of what the crux of this is that veterans getting into the semantics of what we did or didn't do, especially, and when I say veterans, I mean those of us that hold an honorable discharge. It doesn't matter, whether or not did 30 years in the medical corps of the Navy and never deployed further away than, Bangor, Maine, and you were in the reserves the entire time. And you retired as an admiral, or if you got out as an E4 after 2 years, because you had a head injury from, whatever, and now you suffer from migraines or something, and you were medically retired and you hold an honorable discharge. Those two people are equal in my eyes, and they should be equal in the eyes of all veterans. So to get into semantics of, when somebody got out, or whether or not they went to war or whatever, that's an entirely different thing. Spending all my time in the submarine force, we refer to ourselves as undersea warriors or, war fighters. So no, I never went to war on a submarine, but do I call myself an undersea warfighter? Hell yes, I do. And everyone does. And if they don't, they're lying. That's what we do. We train for war, we fight for war, and hopefully we don't have to go to war. No veteran should want to go to war. So anyways, but it doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter if you were a door gunner on a, Space Force space shuttle, or if you were an admin assistant inside of the Air Force, or if you were a Delta Force Ranger, doing secret ops in Mogadishu, or if you were a cook on an aircraft carrier and every day you burnt the grilled cheese and, you never left the shipyard. The answer is, do you have an honorable discharge? Then thank you for your fucking service. And that is it. There is no, this guy didn't make deployment when he should have. That is a dangerous, slippery slope that we don't want to get into. So it's irrelevant to what someone did and what you value their contributions to the military, especially as an outsider. It's completely irrelevant. Anyone who has put on the uniform and served this nation has given up some of the best years of their life in the service of others, and to try and uphold the values that we feel that our nation should espouse. And I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. I don't care what you did inside of the military. It is our job as veterans to support and uplift one another and not get into the semantics of what we did. Because just like when you were in, we all know that it takes, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes people of all different job skills and specifications in order to make the machine of war lumber on and be able to function. So I don't care, and neither should you, if you were a combat photographer attached to an air wing that deployed to Iraq, which is another thing in and of itself. Every Marine's a rifleman, sure, but or if you were in the National Guard for 24 years and you got out at a certain time. And guess what? The National Guard is set up in such a fashion to enable people to be like, you know what, this really isn't working for me and my family or me and my lifestyle anymore. I'm ready to get out. And it's not the same as when you're active duty. But regardless, it's our job as veterans, no matter what side of the political spectrum that we fall on, we should not be overanalyzing what it is that any of us did during our time in. You wore the uniform, you got an honorable discharge, thank you for your service. That's the answer. Thanks.